is the time to be sure.
No, I
Do you
know.
understand what's at stake here? Do you understand? There's someone's life that's probably been taken.
I do understand.
You understand that?
Our story begins in Santa Clara, Utah. On June 27, 2016, officers from the Santa Clara Ivins Police Department responded to a property theft call at a residence on Meadowview Circle. What appeared to be a routine call turned out to be anything but. The officers are met in the driveway by the owner of the residence, Kenneth Heisler, and his shirtless neighbor.
Okay. Oh, I came home from work. I left at 3:30 this morning to go to work. I come home about 2:30 today. And pulled into the garage, took a shower, went to the pool, came back into the house. So about an hour later, I noticed that my wife's stuff is missing. And the iPad's missing. And I checked the front door. The deadbolt still has a deadbolt on it, and no one has a key for that deadbolt. And there's blood on the ground, on the floor, and this is fresh blood. And I tried to call my boy. He doesn't answer. The car's gone.
It's going straight to, like it's off.
Like it's off. And his wallet's still in the cabinet.
And the TV's on. And his slipper is here in the middle of the living room where it should be in his room.
Well,
this has got a bunch of shit here.
And there's dry blood again in the kitchen.
And then a couple other peculiar points are, his room is down here. He left, the TV's left with the video game on. Yeah.
So what are we missing right now that you know of?
My wife, 30-year-old. My wife's jewelry box got all kinds of rings in there. On here, it's probably about this big, but it's got a lot of sentimental value to my wife. Rings and stuff. She's on vacation.
Okay, so it couldn't have been her.
No.
So somebody had to know where the jewelry box was. And
Where'd you say your son is?
We don't know.
Well, I called his work, and he's not scheduled to work today.
We called.
and he goes to voicemail, you said, when you called him?
Yeah, he was turned off. But his car's gone, but his wallet and his driver's license, and there's no money in the wallet.
But he got paid yesterday.
He got paid yesterday.
What's your son's name?
David. Yeah. I'm more concerned about that blood.
Does he have any friends that come over very often?
He's in a bitter divorce.
Well, yeah, he does.
Custody battle.
He just won custody over his daughter, over the mom.
Tuesday.
And some of her characters, she hangs out with her pretty bad.
In jail, drug use. Yeah. Her and the child went to New York. They'll be back Wednesday.
I've got to get a statement from you of kind of what happened, the times you left. I'd like to talk to your son, too, if we can find him. But And what I can do, we can leave it with you. Okay. You can use the back if there's not enough room. But basically tell us kind of what happened, what time you left, when your son, you said your son was home. We don't know when he left. But any information you can give us and kind of what's missing, list out what it is, approximate value of each item. Show me again. So they came through here.
Looks like they came through here.
Do we know what they cut on?
Yeah, I'm trying to look at what they would have cut themselves on, because the blood, I mean, there's blood there.
What if
here?
Other people came and took David in his car? His wallet's still there, but his car's gone. I called his work, and they said he's not scheduled to be there today, and he's not there, and he's not scheduled to be there. And then this, area, it's got, more stuff on the ground that shouldn't be here, from, the door and moving it. That looks like perhaps blood in those cracks. Yeah. And then they got a slipper right there, and the matching slipper's in the bedroom. I can't imagine why he would leave to drive anywhere without taking his wallet. Here's his car information if you want to do a bolo or something.
Yeah.
It's kind of a blackish green over there. And then, I don't know if you've made it yet this part of the bedroom, but, he likes movies and video games. The TV's on with the video game still on.
So I'm thinking maybe you heard something. It came out.
And so, this stuff's good. His phone should be over there, but his charger is. Here's where he puts his wallet, and it's still there.
Tell me what you think happened.
When I saw the stuff missing, I thought maybe the boy took it to the pawn shop.
Is that David might have?
Yeah. Get some extra money. He can be deceitful.
Right.
Boys are. But then I saw the blood. His wallet's still there.
Car's gone. Phone's off.
Yeah. So now I have to think otherwise.
And how old is David?
He's 32.
32?
Well, I'm sorry.
Early 30s.
Maybe 31.
Okay. Show me where the iPad and the jewelry box was at.
Right here. It was plugged in.
Okay, the iPad was right there?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
My wife keeps all his stuff. Rings, necklaces.
It's all just right there on the corner.
Yeah. But the thing is, he asked me about the iPad. He said, you guys have another iPad, right? I said, yeah, we have 4 iPads.
He asked you about it? When did he ask you about it?
Sunday.
Sunday?
Yeah.
Just yesterday?
Yeah. So that's why I thought maybe took him to the pawn shop. Because why would he be asking me about it? And the next day it's gone.
Yeah.
You know, that's kind of what's sticking in my mind. I want to talk to David. That's the most likely right now.
Yeah.
I want to talk with him, and I'll see if I can check the pawn shop database. I don't know how quickly they upload stuff, but if he does pawn anything using his own name. He says ID's in here, though?
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to be able to pawn something without his ID. What kind of shoes does he wear?
Those white ones.
I'm curious what shoes he's got on.
I'm the private investigator on the case. He's a bad guy.
David? No,
the boyfriend. Yeah.
Ex-girlfriend.
Yeah, the baby smuggler.
Do you know what his name is?
I think I ran a report on him. He's got a rap sheet. You know her name, right?
Yeah. What is it?
Kelly.
Marie. Kelly Marie.
What's Kelly's last name? But not the old one. Now it's Perry because she married that guy.
Yeah, they run her.
I know who she is. I've been involved with stuff between your son and her in the past.
Yeah, what's Kelly's boyfriend's name? Frankie McCard. Frankie
McCard?
Yeah, spell the last name. MCCARD.
I don't see any blood in there.
Yeah, I don't see it anywhere else either. It's mainly just in the garage and possibly a couple spots in the grout here.
This is unusual.
It's kind of
It's got my
very
hair.
odd.
If I had hair on my head, it'd be sticking up because this is the thing we feared.
When were they in court? He got custody?
Last Thursday.
So does he have the kid now, or where's the kid staying? She's with mom, or your wife. Okay. We'll be in touch.
Okay. Thank you, John.
2 hours later, the officers returned to collect the property theft form.
By the time I left the house, by the time I came back to the house, yeah, we put out an attempt to locate on his vehicle for a welfare check to make sure he's okay. And we also tried pinging his phone, to see if we could locate him that way, and it hasn't been powered on.
At all today? At all? He hasn't had it on at all today. There's been no use out of it at all?
Well, Kelly, the ex-girlfriend, she called me saying that the cops called him. She said that he texted her last night, have her come over. But I don't believe it, and my wife's checked she don't think David would do that. And after just what happened, we have her come over to this place. Yeah.
Well, I also checked the pawn database. It takes a couple days for it to update, but he only pawned stuff basically at one place, so I called that pawn shop. They have not seen him today. Do you mind if I look in the kitchen again real quick? I want to just look at see if I can figure if that's blood in there. I don't think that's blood. It's tube. The color's a lot different. It could be, but I'm not sure. But there's no. It looks like it's just like drops down. Doesn't look like there's any movement to it. Let me snap a picture of it just in case. Who knows what's going on right now. If he may not want to be contacted. If he decides to take your stuff and try and sell it somewhere, he may not want to hear from you.
Until the phone.
Yeah.
David and Kelly began dating in 2009. David's stepmother, Debbie Heisler, said he habitually did not introduce his girlfriends. One day, she received a call from a family member saying, "Congratulations, you're going to be a grandma." Debbie said, "Well, I'll have to meet her now." She said Kelly was very polite and that she and David did everything together. When Kelly gave birth to their daughter Mariah, David was thrilled that he was now a dad. Mariah was around 3 years old when David and Kelly started having issues. Kelly eventually moved out and David was distraught. Debbie said David just wanted to be a dad. She made a Facebook post stating that David was missing and needed help locating him. She said she had no evidence that something bad happened, but her heart and stomach knew something was wrong. Following their initial response, officers returned to the residence the next day.
Hey, Kelly, got
No, it was on the chair. There's hair on that. That really concerns me a lot.
Looks like colored electrical tape. Yeah, it is. Look how it pulls.
There's some long hairs on that and lots.
We can take it, put it in evidence just in case. What are you thinking at this point? I still haven't been able to get hold of David on his phone. After I talked with you last night, I did talk with Kelly, and she said that David was texting her that night and wanted her to come over, and she said she wouldn't.
Went to her house and talked to her today. There's a text from David at 3:49 Monday morning asking, you coming over or not? If not, I'm going to bed.
Yeah. That's basically what she told me. She said that they were texting and David wanted her to come over, but she didn't.
Right. And the way that the blood is in the garage, like somebody threw it in the trunk. Like they back apart.
Let me show you something on the blood. Is it still there?
Yeah.
The thing about the blood, it's not a high impact thing. If you see how it kind of hits and kind of goes out in all directions.
I'm thinking of bloody nose.
That's what I'm saying. Bloody nose, or somebody nicked themselves and it's just dropping. It's not a fast bleed. It's not a lot of blood. If he would have gotten hit or something like that, when the blood went off, it would hit at an angle and it would hit and it would make it elongate. Yeah, it's been smeared this direction, but what gets me too is once you get blood on your shoe, you're gonna be leaving marks as you're walking too.
Yeah, there's no.
So I don't know.
The bottom line, if he got hit in the face, and the guy could cut his knuckle. If he got
or he got hit and David's nose was bleeding.
Right.
It
and
could
that
be.
could explain maybe the blood in the kitchen.
Well, the blood in the kitchen is like a spray bottle mist.
Yeah, that's what's weird about that.
Yeah, it's like really weird. It's a mist.
So right now,
unless they clean
this
it
one
up.
thing, Dave's supposed to be there at 4:30. We'll touch base with them. If he doesn't show up, we'll see if they can call us, or we'll check with him and see if he's shown up. The only thing we can do at this point, because we really don't know, is put another ATL out again on the vehicle, and I can list him on the NCIC database as missing or endangered or whatever, because we just don't know.
Right.
So it's been 24 hours. Better be safe than sorry. If we do it that way, if any contact's made with him anywhere, it's on a national database. If contact's made with him anywhere, he'll be flagged and they'll contact us. Would you like us to do that?
Sure.
Okay.
But the thing is that, like with Mariah, I mean, he's been doing FaceTime, Skyping her all day long that she's been gone. And there wasn't a single anything from him at all.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Has he ever missed work before?
No, I asked him, and he said, no, he's never missed a day yet.
How long has he worked there?
2.5 years.
3 years.
Oh, really? Okay. So it'd be completely out of norm for him if he didn't show up.
I'm pretty sure all his shoes are in the bedroom. Looks like he left it on the shoes.
The officers returned 30 minutes later with a detective to collect a blood sample in the garage.
Has there been blood here before?
No, it wasn't there Saturday. It wasn't there Sunday morning at 3:35 a.m. when Kenny went to work. It was there when Kenny told me. We're contemplating that he opens the door to let her in, then you got this crazy freak Hollywood guy that's standing around the corner, bum rushed the door.
This was in the middle of the night, correct?
It would have had to have been after 3:35.
Was he here when you left for work in the morning?
Yeah, because the car was here.
The video game was on pause, so...
Like, he gave up, and he was like, okay, fine, I'm going to let her in. And Fruity Cake McSnurdy over there, Hollywood, is standing around the corner, and so he undoes the deadbolt and lets him in, and that dude bum rushes him. We're just hypothesizing.
Yeah.
And then, they lock the deadbolt back in because he's already gone. They punch him or something right here, I don't know. That's why the splatter's so odd. Now they're freaking out, and they're grabbing a jewelry box, and they're opening the garage, and they're backing the car in, and they're throwing him in the trunk. And now the car's gone, he's gone, phone's off. I mean, start putting it together. We're all kind of freaking out.
My gut feeling is David's grabbed stuff and took it off. Hopefully he's just decided to...
do something stupid, and he's going to show up. That's what we're hoping. But our PI is not as confident as we are, and he thinks that Hollywood's got that car in Vegas right now, and he's in the trunk. But speculating, you start thinking the worst.
We don't know yet.
We don't have anything.
We have to work off evidence and what we've got.
Not much to go on.
There's not much to go on. There's a lot of unknowns.
The Heisler residence is in a cul-de-sac. There are only 2 ways to leave the neighborhood. Detectives obtained surveillance video from the 2 directions that David's car could have traveled. David drove a 2002 Saturn sedan. At 4:56 a.m., a sedan matching David's vehicle drove by, exiting the neighborhood. The video was grainy, so detectives could not determine the vehicle's occupants. Next on the investigators' list was the one with whom David was last communicating. They obtained call logs from David's father, Ken Heisler. David had been messaging his ex-girlfriend, Mariah's mother, Kelly Perry. Ken left for work at 3:30 a.m., and David sent his last message at 3:56. The time of the messages was significant because exactly 1 hour later, David's car was leaving the neighborhood. Hey Crimetastic viewers, we are happy to announce that today's video is sponsored by Surfshark VPN. Surfshark Virtual Private Network is an app and browser extension that secures your online connection at home or on the go. When at home and connected through Surfshark, your online activities are kept private, blocking your internet service provider from tracking your every move. When on the go and connecting to public networks, Surfshark VPN prevents bad actors from collecting your personal data, passwords, etc. by routing your online activities through one of their thousands of secure encrypted servers, which are available in over 100 countries. You, or at least online you, can be anywhere in the world in seconds. This is useful for accessing shows blocked in your region or booking cheaper flights by appearing as though you live in the country you're traveling to. Whenever you are on a Surfshark VPN server, your connection is secured by encryption, and all records of your online activity are automatically deleted when you disconnect. With millions of satisfied customers and a 30-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to lose. Try Surfshark VPN today, starting at just $2 per month. The link is in the description. Use code CRIMETASTIC for an extra 3 months free. This is a great way to help support the channel and to get a great deal on what I believe is an essential service. I will remind you about Surfshark at the end of the video so you can keep watching. 2 days after David went missing, Captain Rich Rogers and Lieutenant Jaron Studley responded to Kelly Perry's home to discuss David's disappearance.
So tell us about custody just real quick so we can try and make sure we can answer your questions.
So I had sole custody of her until September of 2014? Yeah, 2014. September 2014, I got married and moved to Cedar City.
Who did you marry?
I married James Perry.
James Perry.
And David came to my house a week after we moved to Cedar City and took her on an ex parte motion of custody, and we just barely had our trial.
Who's pushing for all this? Is it Debbie?
It's Debbie. Debbie's the one that has pushed all this because I was trying to move home to Wyoming where my family's at.
Mm-hmm.
And Debbie wasn't okay with that because then she wouldn't have Mariah close by. She pushed David into, well, you can't let her take her. You can't let her take her. David actually got kicked out of his parents' house Easter of 2013, I believe.
For what?
They fight all the time. Him and his parents are constantly back and forth with each other over something because he lives at home and his parents want control over him. Mm-hmm. They treat him like he's a teenager again, you know? So Debbie told him to get out of her house on Easter. Something about a car. I don't know. I don't remember what it was, but something about the car breaking down or something. So she told him to get out. He came to me at a barbecue at a friend's house and said, hey, my parents kicked me out. I have nowhere to go. Can I come stay with you till I can get my brother to send me money? So he stayed at my house for, I think it was like a week and a half, 2 weeks. Me and David had just barely split up like a couple months before. And so I let him come stay with me because he would watch Mariah for me while I was working during the day. So I told him, you know, I have a 3-bedroom house. It's just me and Mariah. You're more than welcome to come sleep on my couch till your brother can get you home to New York. He came and stayed with me, and the day before we went to court on our relocation, mine and Mariah's relocation hearing, he went back home the day before court. So we go to court. He actually had written a letter saying that he was in agreement to me taking Mariah and going home to Wyoming. Told my dad the morning of court, you know, I don't know what I'm going to do, but you guys are going to Wyoming after court, you know. We go to court and he claimed that he didn't know anything about the letter, that he didn't write it. So it's been back and forth the whole time. 1 minute he's in agreement to whatever, the next minute it's no, because Debbie tells him, If you let her take her, you won't have a place to live. You're not going to have a car. You're not going to have a
So
phone.
she uses that as a tool to
Right.
keep Mariah around and
Right.
keep David in check.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's
And he's
been-
30 years old.
Yep, and it's been constant battle, and it's never between me and him over our daughter. It's always me and Debbie. Since he got custody of her, I've been on supervised visitation because they think that I'm coaching my daughter, or they think that I'm going to take off with her, and I'm like, I'm just trying to be her mom. You know, I've always been her mom. I've always taken very good care of her. Up until he took her, I was the sole provider for her. He owed me almost $4,000 in back child support when he took custody of her.
He owed you $4,000.
Mm-hmm. Debbie has been nonstop, just argue with me, constant conflict. At first, when he first took Mariah, the court said he couldn't even be there during my visits because they didn't want conflict for my daughter. Well, It's not him that has conflict with me, it's Debbie. Every time she gets upset with me, it's, oh, well, you're not going to see her. You're not going to have your visitation. Well, it's court ordered. You can't do that. She texts me. She's been in New York.
Yeah.
And the last 3 days, she hasn't answered my phone calls or nothing. I mean, she was court ordered that she was supposed to give me itinerary before she left. Didn't do it. I talked to my daughter a total of 2 times when she was in New York. The court order now, to my knowledge from when we went to court, the judge gave him sole physical custody and me visitation of her.
Well, here, just real quick, here's a little advice. You can take it, you cannot take it. That's completely up to you. Stop posting on Facebook. People are going to be mean. People are going to say nasty things. People are going to form an opinion based on these external influences to our investigation, regardless of the validity of them.
Yeah, and see, I just wanted...
So every time you decide to hop on there...
I know, and I have a major problem with that because
just quit looking at them,
like,
I'm telling you.
It's been non-stop bully from Debbie and her family.
Well, she's probably thoroughly enjoying what she's seeing.
I'm just like, this is ridiculous. Like, there's a little girl involved. And she needs to feel safe, and she needs to feel like she has her family love, And they won't even let me be a part of any of it. They think just because I'm not with David anymore that I'm not worried about him, whatever. Of course I am. That's still the father of my daughter. Tuesday, the 21st, when she was leaving to New York, David allowed me to come over during lunchtime and spend a little while with Mariah before she went to New York because I'm supposed to have the weekend and they were going to be out of town during my visitation. So he let me come see her. And after his mom left, all of a sudden he starts texting me trying to get me to go hang out at his house, go hang out with him, go to the movies with him, go to dinner with him, come over and spend the night. And I'm like, what is this all about? We don't have that kind of relationship to where I hang out with him like that.
So this was weird for you?
It was very weird
to engage in...
Yeah.
Do you still have those things on your phone? Will you please not get rid of them, and maybe we can take a look at those here in a minute?
Yeah.
So my biggest concern here today is that each time an event goes by, so like David missed work, that's not normal. His phone's turned off. He left his wallet there. That's another indication.
Right.
Mariah came home yesterday. He's not there. These are three major events.
And see, that's
so we're
where
concerned.
I was just like, why is Debbie being the way she is to me? Like, all of a sudden, out of the blue, she just sends me a text and says, you're not having your visitation until further notice. And I'm like, you can't do that.
Yeah, she really can't do that.
That's my daughter. I have a right to be with her. I understand that it's got us all, like, going, what the heck is going on?
Well, they're thinking the worst. You're thinking the worst.
Exactly, and they need to understand, too, that I'm going through turmoil on my own, too, because we don't know where he's at or what happened. For all we know, somebody could come there for my daughter, That's what's going through my head.
Given all of these little events, I think we now need to posture ourselves to look at maybe something horrible did happen to David.
Right.
So we need to start establishing a timeline, and also that means alibis.
Right.
So that's another reason why I'm here, is that I need to get your whereabouts, if you're willing to, is to detail some of these things that helps us either say, hey, look, maybe you did have something to do with it.
Right.
Or, hey, look, she's super cooperative. She's given us everything we've asked for.
Like, I'm just as confused with this whole thing as everybody else. And I'm just as worried for David, for Mariah, for everybody that's involved. Like, his family, I Like, I was trying to tell Debbie, we need to pull together for that little girl. Because she's probably worried sick, wondering what's going on.
So, the last time someone saw David, which is what time?
The last time I know of that he was seen was his dad said that he saw him before he went to bed Sunday night.
So, Ken informed you that Sunday the 26th was the last time he physically saw...
Yes, he said that he saw him before he went to bed Sunday night. And I don't know what time he goes to bed, probably around like 8:30 or 9, I'm guessing. I'm not sure because...
We were told he's a gamer and he stays up all weird hours of the night.
David does. He's horrible with staying up at night. Monday morning, early morning, he was texting my phone at like 3:30 in the morning, telling me that his dad went to work, showed me pictures of his dad's bedroom with his dad not in it, garage empty, and was trying to get me to go over there.
In your mind, why would he do that?
I don't know. I was like, what the heck? Like, I was half asleep, and I texted him back and said, good. I don't remember sending the text because I was half asleep, but when I woke up Monday morning, I think it was around like 9:30 or 10, I called his phone, and it rang a couple times and then went to voicemail, and I left him a voice message and said, hey, I got these texts from you at 3:30 in the morning. What the heck is that about? Call me back. I thought he was probably at work or something. He never called back. And then I get a phone call around, I think, 7
on Monday.
On Monday PM.
AM or PM?
PM. From the Washington police telling me that David's missing. Had I heard from him?
Yeah, that was us trying to get a hold of you to find out if
And I said, I had no knowledge of this. I thought he was at work the whole time. And so I called his dad right after that. His dad then told me that he wasn't there. His car wasn't there. That there was jewelry missing out of the house. And that he hadn't seen him since he went to bed Sunday night. After talking to his dad, I called his phone one more time to see if he would answer it. I didn't get anything. It went straight to voicemail. I left him a voicemail and said, hey, we're all worried about you, wondering where you went. Your family's looking for you. I was just told that you were missing. Can you please contact me or your family to let us know that you're safe? About 11 o'clock that evening, I still hadn't heard back from him, so I texted his phone, thinking maybe if I text him, he'll send me a text back, but...
Were you with anyone between this whole Sunday the 26th?
Yes, I've been with my roommate the whole time.
Ma'am, what's your...
Her name's Tammy.
Can she get up?
She's right there.
Got ya.
What's your name?
Tammy Freeman.
Tammy Freeman?
Uh-huh.
How to spell Freeman?
Freeman.
So you've been with Tammy. She can vouch for you as having been here between the times that he's been missing?
Yes.
Okay. Has David ever made mention of being suicidal?
Not to me.
Has he always been chipper and happy, or is
he's had his moments.
He's pretty.
From
what I've
mellow,
seen him,
usually.
just at the gas station, the 3 or 4 times I've ever seen him, he's like, nothing excites him, nothing gets him upset. He's just.
Well, there's times when he has gotten very angry, but it's usually stuff to do with his stepmom telling him what to do or stuff like that. But even when we're together, there's very rare times when I've seen him sky high angry.
Can you see how or why people are kind of pointing to, if something did happen to David, that you would be the reason for it?
I can see why, because of the conflict.
You just lost custody of your son,
or
daughter,
and it doesn't feel like to me that I just lost custody of her, because he's had her since September 2014.
And it's just a piece of paper now.
It's just a piece of paper now that the judge finally put it into order.
So he's had physical custody.
He's had physical custody since
So it wasn't
2014.
like they removed a child from a home to place in another home.
She's been with him since September 5th of 2014. I contacted the court clerk and said, hey, this is what's going on. What's my legal rights as far as this goes? I'm court ordered by the court to have visitation. She's telling me that I can't see my daughter. She doesn't have custody. Her son does. And she said, well, if he's not there and he's got custody, then automatically it defaults back to you. You have every right to go and take your child from her. I don't necessarily want to take my child from them, But at the same time, I know how Debbie is. And
well, you did make some pretty harsh statements a while ago when you were doing those GoFundMe
I did,
accounts.
and it's because me and Debbie constantly...
Some pretty...
I did, and it's because Debbie...
I have one right here. It said, I'm begging you to please help me get my baby girl out of the hands of these monsters.
Yeah, and it's because Debbie has sat here and made me out to be like I'm not capable of taking care of my daughter or something, or that I neglected or abused her or something. It never was like that. I was taking care of my daughter full-time, full care and custody with me. They got mad because I got married to somebody, not David, and moved out of the county.
For moving on with your life.
Yeah, for me moving on with my life. Because Debbie, the entire time we were together, pushed me and David, when are you going to get married? When are you going to get married? When are you going to get married?
Just because you had a child.
Mm-hmm. And I was like, just because we have a child together does not mean that we're going to be married. That's a choice that me and David have to make. Nobody else can make that for us. I didn't want to marry David because David was content living with his family. I don't want that. I want to be out on my own. We have a kid together. We're adults. We need to do it on our own, not live with your parents. David had no drive to move out of his parents'
Did David
house.
want to get married? Is that something?
He wanted to be married. He did ask me to marry him, and we were engaged, but we never set a date because I was like, I'm not marrying you until we move out on our own and you're not letting your parents control your every move.
If David just disappears, what do you think will happen with Mariah? What do you think happens with that?
I had custody of her before he took her. Why would I not have custody of her after, Obviously, I didn't go over there and demand her to give my daughter to me because we're still in an open investigation. I didn't want that to be, oh, well, she's guilty of doing some kind of harm to him or something. I didn't want that to be a factor in there.
I'm asking you a hypothetical question. If someone were to have done something to David in your behalf, be it you maybe said something to someone and they decided to take matters into their own hands,
right?
Who would that have been?
Honestly, I have no idea. I can't think
of
any...
So do you have a boyfriend that you don't really want that follows
Absolutely
you around?
Not.
I'm trying to think of a better word. Do you have a stalker?
Legally married.
A creepy stalker? Somebody
not that I know of.
who you would say something to that you would be like, hey, I'm going to help her out and help her get her kid back?
No, I don't.
Someone made mention that you maybe were at his house banging on the window.
No.
That night.
I was not at his house banging on the windows. I know his dad said something about that to me too, that David contacted somebody or something and said that I was banging on the window.
And those came from texts
I don't know.
I
don't know why he would say that because I was not banging on the window. I wasn't at his house.
And have you erased any text messages?
No.
None. Okay.
It's been a nightmare.
Again, I know it's frustrating.
It's heartbreaking because here's my little girl and she's caught right in the middle of all this, and all I want is to be there for her and make her understand that she's safe.
After speaking with Kelly, detectives checked the Utah Pawn database, which was updated to include the date David disappeared. The last time David pawned something was a few days before he went missing. With the chance of David taking off dwindling, the detectives checked the GPS tracker installed on his car by the leasing company. The tracker pinged at David's home early on Monday, June 27th. At 6:42 a.m., there's another ping. However, it's in the neighboring state of Arizona, roughly 45 miles south of David's residence. The surrounding area is hundreds of miles of high desert. David's car pinged 13 minutes later on Mount Trumbull Loop, a road often only traveled by ranchers. Captain Rogers wondered why David would drive out there. He called it a godforsaken wasteland. He said anyone stuck out there would be in dire straits. Without food or water and temperatures above 100 degrees or 43 degrees Celsius, you could only survive a few days. The detectives drove the route of the GPS pings, searching for debris or signs of a car crash. They could not locate David or anything that would aid in finding him. The police department got a call on July 1st, informing them of a vehicle in Beaver Dam, Arizona, matching David's vehicle description. At the scene, detectives confirmed the vehicle was David's. As they looked through the windows, there was no one inside. Captain Rogers said his first thought was, he's probably in the trunk. They opened the trunk and were relieved David was not there. However, detectives located a spent 9mm casing behind the driver's seat. As the days went by, Mariah asked where her dad was. Debbie sat her down and said, "Daddy's missing. We don't know where he's at, but we have a ton of people out looking for him." While the Heisler family hopes for David's safe return, Lieutenant Studley combs through Kelly Perry's social media. It was apparent that over the past few years, she had been battling David regarding custody of Mariah. She often voiced her dismay for David having her child. It's now a few days after David went missing. Debbie receives messages from friends of Kelly indicating that Kelly and her boyfriend Frank had something to do with David's disappearance. She forwarded those messages to the police. Detective Studley takes this information with a grain of salt, as it can be gossip and rumors. However, one of the messages stuck out to him because it mentioned that they got David while he was playing video games. The police had not publicly disclosed that information. Detectives obtained a warrant for Kelly's cell phone based on those messages. They met her at the 5th District Courthouse where she was applying for temporary guardianship of her daughter. They informed her that they had a search warrant for her phone. She was reluctant to hand it over, but with the warrant, she didn't have a choice. Investigators immediately sent the phone to Utah Tech for a forensic analysis. The lab used a brute force attack to bypass the passcode, meaning a computer attempted every possible password combination until it found the correct one. With the phone now unlocked, all the data is extracted and sent to the police. As Captain Rogers examined the data, he said it was obvious that Kelly had deleted some text messages from her phone. She was hiding something, and detectives invited her to the station to figure out what. Before the interview plays, as a reminder, David was last heard from in the early morning hours on Monday, June 27, 2016.
Just so you know, you don't have to be here. There's the door if you'd like to go. That makes sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And again, the reason why we think that you need to be talked to is because you were the last person to text David on his phone.
Mm-hmm.
You're the mother of his child. And he's missing.
Was anybody with you at the court hearing?
Frank drove me there.
Frank who?
Frank McCard.
You made mention that yours and he relationship is not a romantic. Is that that's correct?
That's correct.
So again, you tell us the relationship between you and Frank.
Me and Frank are, I guess you would say, best friends. I mean.
So did Frank ever take you over to the Heisler's house?
Yeah, he has dropped me off and picked me up for visitation.
Like several times? Okay.
Mm-hmm. He's never gone inside their house. He usually just pulls up at the end of the driveway. I get out of the car and he leaves.
Have you and Frank ever had a romantic relationship encounter? Have you guys ever had sexual relations?
We have in like the very beginning of when we became friends, but it never was like anything serious like that.
What changed?
Just the fact that I didn't feel that way towards him. Like, I felt he's more of a friend, not like boyfriend type.
How long ago was that?
That was, we've been friends since January of 2015, so it's been a long time.
When's the last time you had sex?
It's been quite a few months. I don't even know when the last time was.
This year? Quite a few months?
Yeah, it was sometime around the beginning of the year.
About how many times do you think you guys may have been intimate?
Maybe like 3, maybe 4. A lot of people were referring to me as Frank's girlfriend or Hollywood's girlfriend, and I was like, no, I'm not his girlfriend. Like, we're just friends. And I got real sick of everywhere I went. People like, oh, that's Hollywood's girl. No, dude, we're not together like that. We're just friends.
So would it be safe to say that Frank probably has somewhat of a little obsession with you?
I'm sure he has feelings towards me. I wouldn't call it an obsession, but...
The relationship that you have with him is one of like a support or a friend, and he gets physically upset when he sees that you're bothered or that you're...
if he sees me crying or like frustrated because of things that have happened at visits or whatever.
It angers him.
It doesn't really anger him. Like, he doesn't get like angry like the Hulk type angry or anything like that. Like, he gets kind of frustrated, I guess you would say. Like, it bothers him that I'm hurting, I guess. When you see your friend going through such an emotional roller coaster with all the stuff that went on through my custody case, like, I'm sure if I had to see my friend going through that, I'd feel pretty dang frustrated in the fact that David and his family were so just, they've been very, I don't really know the word to say.
Try to think of one.
Like sometimes they've been very vindictive towards me, or like they purposely take things away from me with Mariah that they know mean stuff to me. Like, for instance, her dance recital. Every year since she started dance, I've been there to get her ready for dance recital. It's kind of like a mommy and me type thing. Like, I would take her and get her hair done, and we'd do makeup and spend the whole day just with dance recital. Well, this year, Debbie was upset at me because a couple days before her recital, when she went to dance class, I showed up to her dance class. Debbie wasn't there. David wasn't there. Debbie's mom was there. Mariah was already in the studio, and she comes out and she says, "Mommy, I need to go potty. I need your help." So I walk through the studio to the bathroom with her. It's a mom thing, you know, like your kid asks you for help, of course you're going to go help them. I wasn't thinking, oh, supervised visitation. I was there watching my daughter dance. So I go to the bathroom to help her out of her leotard and her tights and everything, and all of a sudden I get these texts from Debbie, and she's going off about the fact that I'm in the bathroom with my daughter and I better get her butt back to class right now and this and that. And I'm like, whoa, like, I was just helping my daughter go to the bathroom. I'm not doing anything wrong. Well, would you prefer me to let her pee her pants? Like, her great grandma wasn't in any way, shape, or form going to jump up and go help her. She wasn't about to go ask her teacher to help her go to the bathroom. And so I did what any mom would. I went to the bathroom and helped my daughter. Well, Debbie came storming into the dance studio, and she comes up behind me and she taps me on the shoulder, and I turn around and I look at her and she goes, "Outside now." And I was just like, anyways, like, I'm watching my daughter dance. This is not the time or place for that. And I just turned around and continued to watch my daughter dance. So she starts texting me, and we got into like a verbal, or not verbal, but text altercation, I guess you would say. And there was some very harsh things said on both our parts through those text messages.
Explain those.
Like, she basically told me that she was going to make sure that I didn't come to any more dance classes with my daughter. I said, well, you can't stop me from being here. It's my daughter's dance class. Oh, yes, I can, and yes, I will. She told me, because of your attitude and your mouth, you're not going to see Mariah for her dance recital until you go there the night at the time of her recital. You're not going to be getting her ready. I'm not opening my home up to you to do so. So I'll get your daughter ready for her dance recital. As a mom, it crushes you because it's been going on for so long between me and Debbie, like, constant battle over my daughter. With Daddy missing, Mariah was probably scared. She's probably sad. As her mom, I just want to be there to comfort those feelings for her, you know? And I tried to explain that to Debbie, like, as much as you're missing your son and wish that you could hug him right now, I miss my daughter and want to hug her right now. So it's really hard knowing that my little girl is hurting right now, and I can't be a mom and be there for her. Like, I think both of us we both want to be civil and want to be the parents to our daughter, but his parents are like in his ear telling him one thing and he's feeling another. And
what do you think he's feeling?
Well, I know just because of like texts and stuff that he's sent me in the past that he wants us to be together. He wants us to be a family with our daughter. But he doesn't know how to make that work because he lives with his parents, and obviously his parents have the say in who he lives with if he's at their house. He knows that Debbie isn't okay with me and him being together after all the conflict that's gone on and whatnot. I think he's kind of had a lot of mixed feelings about that.
You didn't delete any text messages on your phone?
No. There was nothing deleted. I didn't talk to him for like the remainder of the day, and then all of a sudden, I think he texted, I don't know what time it was, but he texted me later that evening and was like, "Are you okay now?"
So he started the conversation back up?
He started the conversation back up and was trying to get me to go to his house again.
So how come you decided you would go to the house again?
I didn't go to the house again.
I know you didn't. You said you didn't go. What I mean is you told him you would.
I was telling him I would because I was like, okay, maybe.
What makes me think that there were some messages deleted? Because all of a sudden he says, "Okay, you'll be here. I'll see you at 3:20." Because there were, like, you guys had talked that you would be there at 3:20, but it doesn't.
No,
nothing.
We never talked about me being there at 3:20 on Saturday when.
There wasn't any messages for on Saturday that said that.
No, I know, but on Saturday when we were talking about me going over there, I had asked him at one point what time his dad goes to work.
He said
I don't
3 o'clock.
remember what day it was, but I had asked him what time his dad goes to work, and that's why he said, "So you'll be here at 3:20." Like he was assuming because I asked him what time his dad went to work that I was going to show up there.
But I mean, so far as to ask for proof that he wasn't there. I mean, he sent those pictures to you.
Yeah, I didn't ask him for those pictures on Sunday though. I had asked him for proof on Saturday when I was telling him I'm on my way there. Prove to me that he's not there. I felt like he was like beating around every question that I was asking him, and I kind of got the feeling like there was something he wasn't trying to say to me. And so I was like, then prove it. Prove to me that your dad's not there. And he's like, how? And I said, I don't know, go take a picture of his car not in the driveway or something. I don't know. And then all of a sudden Sunday, he sends me the pictures
You
that I
asked
asked for on Saturday.
You asked specifically to take a picture of the garage, and you asked
I
specifically to take a
couldn't,
picture
I don't
of the
remember
bedroom.
what specifically I said to him, but I had said, that was on Saturday that I said that to him, that I said, prove to me that he's not there. And I said, I don't know, take a picture of his car not in the garage or him not in his room or whatever. I don't know exactly my wording on it or whatever, but then he didn't send those pictures to me until Sunday.
You guys are having those conversations. You're still talking to him. He sent you those pictures, and then you just stopped after you said good.
Yeah, and the good text.
Because you text after you saw those pictures.
Like the text where it says good. Like I was half asleep, and I remember like I opened my eyes and I looked at my phone, saw the pictures, and he said he's at work, see, or whatever it was that he said on there, and I just was like, good.
So then you're telling you woke up the next morning and that was weird that he sent you those pictures.
Yeah, because I woke up and
I called him on the phone.
I didn't remember.
Which is something you don't normally do.
I didn't remember when I had woke up that I had already seen those texts half asleep. I was looking at him going, why would he send me these texts? And
why
so
would you think that when you
him.
asked him the last day and a half to send you those texts?
Because it didn't click with me because I just barely woke up, I guess. I don't know, like.
When you were making these texts, Friday night and Saturday night, you were in your room, nobody else was around you?
Tammy was around me because when
Was Frank around?
Frank was not around because I'm trying to think. I believe it was, I can't remember if it was Thursday, somewhere around like Thursday or Friday was when he moved out.
So as far as you know, you don't think he's been at the house since that night, Friday night? He wasn't there when you were sending texts, right?
No.
He wasn't there that Saturday night?
No.
And then he hasn't been there this whole week?
No, he hasn't spent the night there. He's been there to visit and stuff during the day or whatever, but he hasn't.
Have you guys had correspondence since Tuesday-ish by phone?
You text? Yeah, you text Frank very much?
We text and we call each other. when he actually will answer his phone when I call. He's not very good about answering phone calls, but
he's okay with text?
Yeah.
How often do you text him, you think?
We text pretty much every day.
Every single day?
I mean, we're constantly texting.
Have you deleted any of his texts off your phone in the last little while?
I think we have a guy here who has a very unhealthy, what's the word? He's addicted to you. He's got this little, you got this guy who runs around wanting to be with you. And you're,
Frank is a very lonely person.
So he'd probably do anything to get you to be his only.
He has no family, really, no friends.
He has you.
He has me and Tammy. Like, Tammy and her husband are very caring people. They have giant hearts. They open their home up to pretty much anybody.
I'm going to be honest with you. Frank's a wild card in my mind with him. And with him, the feelings that he has for you. In court, they have recording systems in the courts. So everything that people say in the courts are heard.
Right.
After the judge gave the ruling, he tells you he'll fix this. Why do you think he said that? He said, I will fix this. That's what he told you. I'll fix this.
I don't remember him saying that to me.
So
I'm at the court hearing for custody.
When the judge made the final ruling on June 13th.
I know he was saying a lot of stuff when we came out of the courtroom to David. Like, he was like...
Like what?
Like, he was angry about the fact that David was getting custody and I was still going to continue.
Really angry.
Yeah, like, I was just like, will you just shut up? Like,
no, tell us something.
What did he say?
I am trying to think exact words, but he was just like, as we were going down the stairs, he was saying stuff like, oh, the state's okay with you fucking touching your kids, but if you're convicted of drugs or some shit, I don't remember exactly, but he was like referring to the fact that my daughter had made accusations about her dad touching her and about her dad masturbating to pornography in front of her, and nothing was ever done about it. Like, David kind of just like walked free and acted like he had done nothing wrong. Even though my little girl is still traumatized over it, she still to this day talks about things that she saw in those videos that he was watching. So he was pissed off about that David can get by with doing this in the presence of a 4-year-old little girl, but he gets to get custody of her and I have to have supervised visits. He was angry about that because he's a parent too. He doesn't like the fact that David didn't even get so much as a slap on the freaking wrist over it. You know, I was angry about that too, but I mean, I've kind of just had to force myself to kind of let it go, I guess.
He wants you to be happy. This is what I think. He wants you to be happy. Obviously, having your daughter will make you happy. That's engrossed your entire life for the last almost 2 years.
That's all I
He sees that.
To be a part of my daughter's
He's
life.
with you in the court, trying to help you get that taken care of, doing everything he can. He's driving you back and forth, driving you visitation rights. I think he found out that he was home alone, which isn't normal. David's not normally home alone. He's either got his daughter there, or his mom there, or his dad there.
Frank would have known that, like, my daughter and Debbie weren't home, but I don't know. I don't think he would know, like, Ken's work schedule or anything. Like, that's never been talked about between us, like...
Well, that's the key with you.
What his work schedule
I think somehow you let him know, whether you meant to or not meant to, let him know that David's home alone that night.
Yeah, I don't...
And the key is...
ever telling him anything.
Never sent a text, never sent nothing. He wasn't with you that night you were sending a text. Didn't come in your room and happen to see that text when you said you were falling asleep.
Not that I'm aware of. I mean, he wasn't at my house when I went to bed that night. So I don't think he was there at all during the night.
I think he was going there to make a point with him. He was upset that you we're going to go over to his house and maybe thinking you're going to start another relationship with this guy who just stole your daughter from you, and he's going to teach him a lesson, and things went south from there. Honestly, I think you know that that's what happened in your heart, whether or not you're willing to say that or not. I think you know that, and I think you're not willing to tell us that. We will find that out, and right now is your opportunity to get this, whether you meant to let him know that, or whether you did it on purpose or you did it on accident. This is the time that you need to come clean and tell us, because if you don't, after this, your daughter is gone. You will never see her again. You understand that, right?
I do understand that.
And so if you have anything
I'm trying to
at
give you
all,
guys all the information
anything
that I can recall,
I mean, we've got your phone, we've got GPS on it.
Right.
The same thing with Frank's.
We've got Frank's phone.
We're gonna find out what happened. It's just a matter
It's just a matter of time.
Whether you help us figure out what really happened, or whether we find out by having to go through people's phones and do this the hard way, the long way. Not that we're doing it.
We'll figure it out.
We'll do it.
It's gonna come out. There's just no way it's not gonna come out.
Yeah.
So right now is your opportunity to share anything with us that you want. So we have a county attorney that's listening in on this, and he can make any deals or recommendations with you right now. But after this, you walk out the door, it's done.
You're on your own.
You're on your own. We're gonna give you a minute to think about it. We're gonna go talk and compare notes and stuff like that. But just so you know, that's where we're at, and that's kind of where the direction we're heading. So before we start, because there's two of us in here and the door's shut, it's actually, you have to use a key to get out. I'm just going to read you your rights. You're still free to go. You can leave whenever you want, but I just want you to understand we're going to kind of get into a little bit more meat of this conversation. And so just want you to know you have the right to have an attorney. If you can't afford one will be appointed unto you to represent you if you wish. If at any time during this conversation you don't want to talk to us anymore, you can just say, I'm done talking, or you can tell us you just want your attorney.
Do you understand?
Do you understand those?
So you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in court. You have the right to have an attorney with you present while you're being talked to. And then if you can't afford one, will be appointed to you by the courts.
So this is my concern when I talked about deleted messages. You said Frankie and you guys communicate all the time. You're constantly texting at least every day, right? In your phone and under Frankie, this is when he gets mad about Will Davis, right? And that was on Saturday. Then Sunday morning at 1:44 a.m., you sent him a message. And then after that, there hasn't been a message in this phone until yesterday at 10:13 a.m. So that's almost an entire week you went without even sending him a message, not one time.
I don't know why they're not on my phone, because
I have no idea. So that's what I'm talking about. So now you understand that we're going to send this to the crime lab.
Right.
That crime lab will pull open anything on the phone. They'll pull any deleted messages, anything like that, to get all the records from Verizon, everything like that. So we'll have anything deleted,
anything received,
right?
Any voicemails, pictures, all that stuff. Everything will have that stuff.
Web links, anything like that.
Why that's weird that all of a sudden that there's nothing.
Yeah,
okay?
I don't know why. It's like that text app that's on there, like I don't know if it deletes messages after it gets
nobody else's. All
but then it has it prior to. That doesn't make sense.
No, I don't know. It does that all the time. I'll go in there and look for a message that I'm trying to find, and it won't be there. So I don't know if it's the app or what it is. I don't know.
Did you tell Frank that Dave's alone at home?
I don't think I ever told him that.
This isn't a time for.
This isn't a time.
This is the time to be sure.
No, I
do you understand what's at stake here? Do you understand? There's someone's life that's probably been taken.
I do understand.
You understand that? And it's the father of your child.
I know. I understand this is a serious thing, and
So we're toying with in our head. Either you had something to do with it and had knowledge of it, or this rogue crazy boyfriend of yours went and did it on his own. Either way, you know what happened, Kelly. You do. I just don't know what battle you're fighting inside that you think you can't tell us what's going on. If you're worried about being in trouble, we can get through that. Again, like we said, the county attorney's here. He's listening. If there's something you'd like to say to him, you can say that.
We're welcome.
I don't know what you're fighting with. I can only imagine the remorse that you're going through.
But whatever it is, it needs to end now. Because if we find out later, or we crack this a
no one's
different way,
going to work with you.
It's done. No one's going to work with you anymore. Your child's gone. That's it. They're going to be with Debbie and Ken for the rest of her life, and you won't have that opportunity to have your daughter. So we need it now. We're done playing around. It's been an entire week and a day now. So what happened? Tell us.
You don't need to protect Frank. Frank's a big boy.
No, I know that.
So tell us.
Then tell us what happened. Please, I'm asking you. Not even necessarily that a family needs closure, but at the same time, this has got to be eating you up. This isn't you. I think a bad choice was made. A really bad choice was made. But guess what? It wasn't your idea, and we know that.
So help us out. Tell us
what happened to David.
I don't know what happened to David.
What have you heard? There's two stories, so it's either you were 100% involved and you orchestrated this, or somebody did it on his own and then told you about it. What happened?
Help us out now so we can help you out. So we can protect you and your daughter.
That girl needs at least one parent in her life.
I know.
So what are you doing? What is so hard about this? We're not stupid, Kelly. I think you know that.
I know you're not.
You're not either. A bad choice was made. What happened to David? The last text that you sent to him at 3:46. What happened after 3:46, Kelly? I promise the way you're feeling right now, I'm not even going to pretend to imagine. I can't imagine how you've probably been feeling all week, but I bet some of that weight on your shoulders will be lifted once we start to talk about it.
I'm just scared.
Of her. Kelly, who are you scared of?
Scared of not being with Mariah.
Well, I promise you, if we keep going down the road that
it will be that way. If you were involved, there's still things we can do to help you.
I promise you there's a light at the end of this tunnel.
You just got to open that door.
If you don't help, none of those doors will be open for you.
Where is David?
I don't know. I don't know where he took him.
Where did Frank? You don't know where Frank took him?
Was he just supposed to scare him when he went there? And then it got out of hand?
I didn't want him to get hurt.
No one says you did. That's the thing. Kelly, we know you know something about it. We know you do. You're a good person because you're here talking to us today.
He was supposed to scare me into letting me have my daughter back.
Kelly, did Frank go to his house?
Yes.
Who did he go with?
I was there.
You were there? Who else was there?
Nobody.
So it was you? What happened at the house?
I knocked on the door and Frank pushed me out of the way. He was trying to get David and David was fighting back and I was crouched in the corner because I didn't want to be there.
Did you guys get in David's car?
Yeah.
And then where did you drive it?
He dropped me off by, I don't know what the street is called, on the freeway. And I don't know where he went after that.
He dropped you off on the freeway.
Like, you get off the exit of the freeway, like you're going on River Road. I don't know what it's called.
South River Road by the airport.
I guess. I don't know.
How was David when you got out of the vehicle?
He was in the back seat.
Was he with you?
Yeah.
Was he hurt?
I know that they had like a scuffle and
Someone was bleeding.
I think, I don't know where he was bleeding from, but David was bleeding, and he went to the car, and Frank made him get in the back seat.
And he just got in on his own accord?
Not at first, and then, like, he was trying to, like, fight against Frankie, and then Frankie talked him into just cooperating with him. Frankie kept telling him that if he didn't cooperate, he was gonna kill both of us.
So there are some things in that vehicle when it was recovered in Beaver Dam that would make us believe that a firearm was involved.
I never saw a gun. I don't know. I know he had like a little, like, not a backpack, but like a little...
Like a fanny pack he carried?
Yeah. I don't know what was in it. And then he pulled over and made me get out of the car.
And then he drove out to the Arizona Strip?
I don't know where he went after that. Like, I wanted to talk to you guys and tell you guys, but I'm scared.
Who are you scared of? Frankie? Or are you scared about not seeing Mariah?
I was scared of a lot of different things.
Who drove you there?
So we have video surveillance of David's car leaving with people in it.
And vehicles coming and going.
And so that vehicle leaves at 4:50 something. How long were you guys at the house? 4:56 is when that car leaves.
I don't even know, like, it all happened so fast, I don't even know how long we were there.
So how did you get there though? How did you get to the house? Who took you there? I'll tell you right now, I know what car was there, and it's sitting in the driveway at the other house. So,
who drove you there?
Frankie drove the car there, and then Tammy left. But she didn't know, like...
She was there for 20 minutes, 25 minutes.
So Tammy knows what happened.
She doesn't know what happened.
But she knows that you know something.
She knew that we were going over there. She didn't know, like, I didn't even really know, like, what Frankie's plan was.
Mm-hmm.
I knew that he was upset and he wanted to, like, make David understand the pain that I was feeling over not being with my daughter. But I kept telling him I didn't want to be there. I don't want to go. I don't want no part of that. Like,
were you guys wearing gloves or anything like that when you were with the vehicle?
I think he was wearing gloves.
There's a glove print in the back seat in the back on the door on the driver or passenger side. It's a gloved hand. He didn't tell you where he left the vehicle or anything like that?
No. Me and Tammy were going to Mesquite because she had birthday money that she had to spend in Mesquite. He asked us to pick him up on the way.
Uh-huh.
And he was at the freeway exit by Beaver Dam.
So how did it come up that, hey, we need to ride over to David's house?
Frankie had been talking about it for a while that he was going to go take care of David. And I was like, I don't even want to know what that means or what you're thinking. I don't want to know anything about it. Don't talk to me about it. That night, David was texting me, asking me to go over there. Frankie was like, go over there. He was like, go ahead, go over there. He's like, I'll scare him. And I didn't think it was going to be like that. I've had nightmares about it.
I'm sure you have.
Because I didn't know that he was going to do all that. Like, I just thought he was going to, like, scare him.
No, I'm here to tell you, Frankie's batshit crazy. This guy is nuts. Absolutely crazy. But again, I'm really, really glad the county attorney's here and is listening to you and seeing your remorse. But we've got to know every detail.
Let's go over the details. So you decided, he's been talking about this for a while. You guys decided that tonight's the night you're going to go over and scare him. So you catch a ride with Tammy. Tammy takes you to the house.
She didn't take us to the house. She took us on the street. Like,
yeah. You guys walked to the home. Okay. What happened from there?
I knocked on the door and David opened the door and Frankie pushed me out of the way.
So Frankie pushed you out of the way so that he could get to David.
Yeah.
Where was their little tussle at?
He pushed me out of the way, like right inside the front door. And like I was crouched in the corner, like up against the door. And David was like fighting back to him, like trying to push him away or whatever. I just stayed crouched right there because I was scared.
Did you see them go into the kitchen area?
I saw them, like I saw him have David in the living room by the couch, and then I saw him open the garage door to go out in the garage, and then he got David's keys and he asked me to put the car in the garage. So I pulled the car in the garage. He got David in the back seat of the car. At some point, David came back inside. I think that's when they got in the tussle by the garage door, like going out to the garage.
Is that where the blood came from?
I think that's where the blood came from.
Tussle, what do you mean?
Like, they were like...
Wrestling, or did he get punched?
Frankie hit him, but I don't know how many times he hit him. But I remember seeing him, like, hit David, and David was hitting back to him and, like, trying to push him off of him. I was just, like, scared the whole time, and I was just, like, trying not to look or see what was going on. David said, okay, I'll just go in the car. Okay, I'll go in the car. David said something about not wanting to die or something, and Frankie said, I'm not going to kill you. I'm not going to kill you. Just get in the car. And we got in the car, and I kept begging David to just cooperate. I was like, please just cooperate. Just listen to him, because I didn't know what was going to happen. I can't remember which way he went, but we ended up going on the freeway, and he dropped me off. David kept asking me, why are you doing this? And I said, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this. And Frankie told him...
Frankie's crazy, I'm telling you.
Frankie told him, he said, she's not doing anything. She's hostage too. And I got out of the car, and he just, like, left. And I told Tammy where I was at, and she came and picked me up.
Did she talk to you?
She asked where Frankie was, and I said, I don't know where he went. We went to Mesquite, me and her. Frankie called us when we were on our way to Mesquite and asked if we could pick him up on our way to Mesquite.
In Beaver Dam?
Uh-huh.
About what time do you think that was? Was it light outside?
I was light outside.
Did you talk to Tammy about what happened?
No.
She haven't asked questions?
No.
Does she come from a lifestyle where people do?
No.
Kill people, kidnap people, kill them and drop their bodies out in the desert?
No. I think she's probably just as scared as I am right now.
Probably. So you've told no one about this?
No.
Because I'll be honest with you, someone's telling someone, and people are continuing to call the police department.
I haven't said anything to anybody about it.
Is there anything else you can think of that night that we should know about? Any possibilities of maybe where Frank might have taken David?
I don't know, because I asked him, I said, where's David? And he goes, you don't worry about it. I'm scared to write it down.
You don't have to write it down if you don't want to.
I don't.
Would you like to speak with the county attorney? Or would you rather not?
I just want to know what's going to happen.
Well, I'm going to be honest with you, I have no idea what's going to happen.
At this point in time, you're not free to leave.
Where am I going?
We're going out to jail, okay?
Based on Kelly's statements, Francis Frank McCard, also known as Hollywood, was the last person to see David alive. Detectives must urgently locate Frank.
Finger, man! I'm sorry. Yeah! Squeezing my finger, man! Sorry, sir. I'll take it off. I'm sorry. God damn it!
Frank McCard had a lengthy criminal history and was a known drug user and seller. With Frank now in custody, detectives interview him at the jail.
Don't stand up on my account. Why not? I'm nothing special.
Have a seat. Francis, what would you like us to call you?
Frank.
Frank? My name's Captain Rogers. We met earlier today. This is Sergeant Studley. We're at the Santa Clara Police Department. We're investigating an incident involving David. At this time, I'm just going to read you your rights so you understand them, okay? Tell us about the incident with David, you and Kelly.
I got no incident. I've been sleeping for a year and a half, dude. I had a heart attack. I got heart disease. I got diabetes. My feet hurt. My shoulder hurts.
So
I'm a broke down unit, dude.
So Tammy didn't drive you and Kelly over to David Heisler's house early Monday morning.
I told you I was at home Saturday and Sunday morning.
Tammy has already told us. We already know that you drove. That you didn't drive. That Tammy drove you and Kelly to David Heisler's house. In fact, you guys went there the night before, and then you had a bad feeling, so you guys turned around and went home. Then you guys decided to go the next night to David's house.
I don't have no conflict with nobody, dude.
To be honest with you, we've got surveillance cameras at homes coming and going from the house. We've got you guys in the car that night leaving David's house. That's one of the 6 cameras that we have. Leaving David's house in David's car, you driving.
What?
Kelly in the front seat, David in the back seat with a pillowcase over his head. I'll be honest with you, those guys you saw right out there, one's an FBI agent, one's a county attorney, one's a Mojave County investigator. They're not coming to you not knowing what we're talking about, okay? And you can sit there and say all the stuff you want to do. If you want to spend the rest of your life here, then you just stay saying what you're saying. We'll just send it to the federal case, and then you can go to federal prison for the rest of your life. And that's fine. If that's what you want to do. If you want to play this game, I don't really care. To be honest with you, we got enough right now. We can just walk away.
Just so you know, Kelly's here too.
Kelly's here too in the other room. I've probably heard her crying. Just barely. So I'm just telling you right now, if you want to go that route, that's totally fine with me. I don't mind. We can walk away right now. Or you can help us out, you can cooperate, you can facilitate a few things that we're just still missing, like the body of David, and we can close this out, everybody happy, and maybe there's some things that we can work with. And we can let the FBI agent out there know, and we can let the county attorney know out there that you're willing to cooperate with us.
Whatever needed.
Okay, so help me out. We know that Kelly is kind of the mastermind behind this. She convinced you to go? No, she's not? Okay, so that's your idea then?
No.
Then whose idea was it? Help us out then. We know that you love Kelly.
I'm not.
Okay, and I know that she.
I'm a dumb dude. I'm a poor stupid trucker dude.
Okay.
Truck driver for 17 years, man.
Okay.
You made a bad choice.
I know,
not that you're a bad guy. You started there going to scare him, and after that,
things went a little out of control, and we understand that. Things happen. So why don't you just kind of walk through us what happened and just kind of tell us the story. Maybe help us find the body.
That's a good question. I don't have a clue.
You just don't know where you went?
I don't know.
You were just driving?
Was it off the side of the road that you left him?
On the freeway? Did you drive on the dirt road way out there?
That Arizona Strip road.
Arizona Strip area?
His car has that low jack, that GPS unit on it.
I don't know.
So it does. I'm telling you, we've got it pinging as you're driving down that road.
Well, then let's just start from the beginning. That way we can kind of, maybe that can help you jog your memory as you're going through it. Maybe you can kind of remember a few more details. So you guys went over there.
So what's this going to leave me at?
What do you mean?
I mean,
it's going to leave you with you cooperating with us. And what it's going to do is it's going to make things better for you. I can't promise you or tell you what's going to happen or anything like that. What do you mean? Like What are you going to be convicted of? That's something that you have to work out in court. All I can tell you is that we can tell the county attorney, we can tell the federal prosecutor, we can tell the FBI agents out here that you were cooperative with us and that you worked with us and you're willing to help us and willing to help us find the body.
I do as much as I can. I mean,
perfect. So let's start with Monday, or let's start with that Monday when you guys went over there. What happened? Tammy dropped you guys off, and then what? She knocked on the door, and you busted into the house and grabbed David. You wrestled with David. What happened from there after you got David subdued?
I don't know. Everything was happening so fast. I can't remember what I said.
Who grabbed the pillowcase?
I think it was already saying by the pile by the couch or something like that. I'm not sure. Everything happened too fast.
Yeah. What'd you tie his hands with? Was it tape? Was it rope?
I think it was rope.
So you had Kelly grab the keys to the car, and did you have her tell her to bring it into the garage? Was that her idea?
Well, maybe it was my idea. I'm not sure. I said everything happened so fast.
Where did all that blood in the kitchen come from? So he got hit in the face a couple times. Is that because he struggling, not going with the program?
No, I think he said on the wall.
Okay.
While you were in the home, a jewelry box was taken. Did you take that? Did Kelly take that?
Like I said, it happened so fast. I can't recall that.
The cash from
his bedroom when you were in there.
Bedroom when you were in there. Did you take that? Did Kelly take that?
I think I did it.
Do you remember how much it was?
No.
Was it a couple $100 or was it like $20?
No, I think it was like 60 something.
Did you pull out his wallet? Is that where it was? It was just sitting there.
Just sitting there.
And then the jewelry box. Did that end up in the car?
As far as I know, it was.
You and Kelly now are in the car. You're driving. Where did you go from there? Did you get on the freeway?
Yeah, freeway.
Or did you head towards Mesquite, towards Salt Lake?
Southbound.
Southbound. And then you got off on an exit. Remember what exit you got off on?
I got off for a road.
Oh, okay, River Road. Okay, that River Road exit. Okay, I see what you're saying. And that road leads out to the Arizona Strip. It's a dirt road, right? Yeah. Was Kelly with you still at this time? Where was Kelly?
This is where we need help. We're thinking Kelly was with you the whole time. If she wasn't...
Did you drop her off somewhere?
I dropped her off before he exited.
So you dropped her off there, and then you took the River Road exit and headed south on that dirt road. Tell us what happened out there when you got to wherever you were going to go.
I don't know how far I went. It's still dark, and I just pulled off.
And then what happened?
I don't even know if I can. I didn't know if I was gonna make it back.
What happened then?
Just dropped him off.
You just dropped him off there. Okay.
You just told him to get out of the car, or what?
Yeah.
With his hands tied in his pillowcase, or did you break his ties and take his pillowcase off, or did you just kick him out?
No, I never owned no pillowcase, no ties or nothing.
When did that stuff come off?
Just before I stopped.
Oh, just before you stopped, you took that stuff off him?
I'm not that crew.
Okay. Did you have a gun with you? I'm not saying you shot him. You didn't pull the trigger and shoot a gun.
I've never seen nobody.
I'm not saying. I'm not saying you shot him. I'm just saying you didn't have the 9mm with you, and you didn't pull the trigger and shoot a round off. I don't mean to scare him or anything like that.
No, it was a BB gun.
It was a BB gun.
Soft pellet.
Because we found the 9mm casing. Okay. It was in the car.
I don't know. I just started soft pellet. BB gun.
Okay. Did you shoot him with the pellet gun?
No. I'm not that cruel, man. Come on.
So when you let him out of the car, he was alive.
Hmm?
How long do you think you drove?
Maybe 15, 20 minutes.
15 or 20 minutes?
Off of that airport road.
On that river road, heading south on the dirt road.
I can tell you those GPS pings put you a lot further out
than that.
I don't know. Maybe I did. I don't know. Maybe I don't. It's just like everything was happening so fast.
So what did you do once you dropped David off?
I turned around split.
In his car. Where did you take his car?
Over there and by the dam bar.
So what do you think happened to David?
It's not that hard for me to. I mean, knowing that he got turned around and then going one way and then going the other way, it's not that hard for direction. I mean.
So would you think that if you drop somebody off on a road without a pillowcase on, without something tied around his hands,
they should be able to get back, no problem.
Okay. David never made it back.
I don't know.
No, he didn't. Never made it back.
So who's responsible for him if they would have dropped him off?
I guess that would be.
Yeah,
right?
he would be.
He was alive when I left him.
So what did you think when you saw those flyers come up? David Heisler's missing. What did you think? What went through your head?
Everything goes in my head.
Like what? Oh fuck! I made a mistake.
Yeah, I got scared. I was thinking about going out there and start looking for him, you know, and that's what I should have done. You know?
That probably would have shown a little good faith that maybe your intentions weren't what we think they are.
Like I said, I was overwhelmed, I was scared, man.
So what happens when you make comments to people like, I'll fix this, when you were in the courthouse when Kelly lost custody? Or when you say, I'll make David go away, when you say things like that to people?
I say nothing like that to nobody.
Why would Kelly lie to us? She has nothing to gain.
I don't know.
Just so you know, we've got a warrant for your phone. We have it in custody. And we have a warrant for Kelly's phone, and we have that in custody. And tomorrow morning...
You pulled a slick one on me.
Huh?
You pulled a slick one on me. I know what you did.
You kidnapped a guy. I think what you did was a little bit more bad than what I did.
I understand that, but it's
but I'm just saying, you know, we have your phone and we have her phone.
That's dismissible, though, ain't it?
For what? We got a warrant for your phone. I haven't.
But you already had it.
We can't go through it.
But I can't go through it.
Now we've got a warrant.
Just know the phone's going to give us. It's going to give us GPS coordinates of everywhere that you went. It's going to give us any text messages that you've ever sent on it.
I know that.
It's gonna.
I didn't have it with me.
Your browsing history.
You made a phone call to call Kelly and then to come pick you up. Unless you use David's phone. That reminds you. Do you know where David's phone? You asked for it and took it in the car with you. So you just left it in the car?
I have no clue where's that.
We have a warrant for the garage that you live in or were living in, and so we'll be going through that tomorrow,
right.
Along with Kelly's bedroom. So nothing in the garage we're gonna find. I'm not gonna find the jewelry box in your garage. Not gonna find David's cell phone in that garage. Not gonna find anything. You didn't throw David's cell phone out in the middle of the desert or anything like that.
No.
You didn't leave it with him when you left.
I didn't know. I had no clue where it was at. He was alive when I left. I left him.
Who did you leave him with then?
I left him sitting under a tree.
No, with who then? Because he's dead.
Well, I don't know if he is now. I'm just saying he was alive when I left him.
No,
I mom worker, I'm thinking it was like 57, 56.
When we talked first, you said you just drove on that main road. You never left it. You never did anything. You dropped him off, and then you did a U-turn.
That's what I planned. That's what I planned on doing.
I know you plan. I know. We obviously know there's more that happened out there than what you planned on.
I understand that.
So why don't you tell us the more that you planned on what happened out there? Why don't you actually tell us what happened out there? Instead of this bullshit stuff that you just dropped him off at a tree and you round this turn, you made a turn, and then you flipped around 3 minutes down the road and you came. Come on.
I took the turn on. I'm pretty sure it was between 56 and 57 hour.
So when you left him there, you just went and sat down at the tree. You just sat down, and then you drove away. You waved goodbye.
Waved goodbye.
What did he do when you dropped him out of the car? What did he do then?
Walked him over by the tree and
then what?
Said, I didn't say nothing.
What did he do from there?
Huh? What did I do from there?
What did he do from there?
I don't know.
You would have looked back. You said you drove down a bit further and turned back around. Did you see him again when you turned back around?
No, I didn't turn back because the windows were tinted. I couldn't see it.
So the driver's side windows are so dark.
I looked in the door mirror. He was still there.
Just standing there, not moving, not doing anything. Really?
Does that not sound ridiculous in your head, Frank?
What would you do if someone dropped you off in the middle of nowhere, took off your ties and your mask thing, and then the guy jumped back in the car? What would you do? You would just sit there and wait and hope that he doesn't turn back around, or would you freaking hightail it out of the run? Okay, so quit bullshitting us then, because you know exactly what he would have done if that's what would have happened. Okay, that's not so retarded that you're even saying that. That doesn't even make sense. It's not even common sense. It's not even, seriously. The guy's scared out of his life, and he's just going to sit there and watch you drive away and just not do anything and just sit there and watch it? Really?
No,
really?
Like I said, I didn't. I'm just telling you what I did.
You've changed it several times now, so don't tell us that's what you did. You've changed it.
That's what I just said right now. That's what I did.
Oh, now it's the truth.
Yeah.
But before you were lying. I believe you. Maybe that part of it's true, that you turned off the road and that you left him. But the reason why he wasn't moving, or the reason why he just sat there,
he was moving.
Oh, no.
Yes,
no.
he was. Oh my God.
No, the reason why he stayed right there isn't because he just wanted to sit there and watch you. The reason why he stayed there is because you were dead. He was dead.
No, he was not.
You left him there dead.
No, I did not.
He
was standing there.
No.
Alive when I left him.
Not unless you propped him up.
No. He was standing there. No, he was standing there just fine.
No.
Yes, he was.
What do you think's going to happen when we go out there and we find him and he's dead? What do you think that's going to do for you?
Not a damn thing. I'm at where I'm at. I was like, damn if I do, damn if I don't. I did not kill him.
Whether you left him there alive and he died right there, you killed him.
I don't know. I don't know.
You know.
No.
Yes, you do.
I don't know. He was alive when I left him.
No.
I didn't kill him. And this exposure got him. I did not kill him on purpose.
And my understanding is you really love Kelly. You guys got something, because I know how upset she is. And if she's that upset, that tells me there's something real between you and her, right? So I need you to understand.
That little girl.
That little girl has got a father.
That little girl shouldn't have had to go to what she had to go to.
I want you to think for a minute. You've got this little girl, and you got her mom, and her mom's got to live with what she participated in with you. And at this point in time, the way we're ending this thing right here, mom's as much to blame as you are. So unless we start going down a different avenue here pretty quick, this little girl is going to be losing a mom and a dad. We need to create some closure for that little girl and for her mother that you care for. And who's going to shoulder that burden? And you know what brings closure in this. We need to find David, or we need to find David's body.
If it's not there, the rope's got to be there. That's the only thing I could think of, but I did not put a bullet in him.
Even if he was alive when you left him, you're a smart guy, you've been around a long time. If we find him out there dehydrated and dead from exposure, you understand what that leads to.
Mm-hmm.
That's still going to take you down the same avenue.
Yeah, I know.
So our issue is, do we find him 6 months from now when somebody decides to go ATVing and we get a call? Or do we find him ASAP, get this thing squared away?
Find him ASAP. I said, in between 56 and 57, and I turned off the road.
Which way did you turn? Right or left?
Left.
And how far did you go?
Off the top of my head, I'm guessing that maybe 15, 20 miles, 18 miles, maybe more. I'm not sure.
Was he still standing by the tree after you turned around and came back?
No, I turned around before.
Before you let him out?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, okay. So you turned around, then you went back, stopped.
Yeah.
And let him out. Okay. And you cut the ties then, so the ties are right there where he was standing?
Mm-hmm.
What about the pillowcase? Where's that?
It wasn't tied on him, where it was just sit
So
on.
you cut this off, left the pillowcase on him, and then left.
Mm-hmm.
So the pillowcase is just somewhere in that area, probably.
What did he say to you?
He didn't say nothing.
What'd you have in your backpack that you had with you?
Beanie, face mask, and a pair of scissors.
Pair of scissors. Were you wearing gloves when you went in the house?
Mm-hmm.
Did you wear gloves the whole time you were with him?
Mm-hmm.
What'd you do with that stuff? Because you didn't have it when they came and picked you up in Beaver Dam. What'd you do with that stuff?
House it.
Where at?
Side of the road.
Why throw away your property out the window if you didn't do anything? Why would you throw the BB gun? Why would you throw the backpack with your stuff in it? Because that makes me think that something more happened. Because if you just left him there and he was just going to be home, why wouldn't you keep the stuff?
I can't answer that one.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's hard for me to swallow.
I understand that. I'm still having a hard time with it. You know, it's like, I don't know why I did that.
I'm done with you tonight. I'll be honest with you. I'm just tired of listening to the lies.
I'm not lying.
And that's how I feel. So
I've been straight up, man. I've been straight up
no,
ever since.
You haven't been straight up ever since. Don't tell me that.
No,
you lied to me the whole time, and then you said this is the truth, and then you said this is the truth, and then this is the truth.
Another investigator, yet to speak with Frank, entered the room a few minutes later.
Man, Kelly crying out, man. The law not doing nothing about him and what he did to the girl. That's unfair.
And you know what? I'm a dad. I get it.
Me too.
I get it.
What would you do?
I get it. I'm there with you. All right.
No, I'm just saying I should have never done it, but I did, and I take full responsibility.
So you drive out the road to mile marker 5657. What's David doing during this time?
In the backseat.
Has he got the pillowcase on or off?
Off. We have a conversation actually.
I'm sorry?
Just having a conversation, kind of asking him, I said, you ever touch your daughter? And no. He goes, what are you going to do? I said, I'm not going to hurt you. I said, I'm going to drop you off and you're going to walk back barefooted. And when I left him standing by the tree, he was standing up and he was alive.
Do you think this guy touched his daughter? Is that kind of what you were thinking? Mm-hmm. Is that what was going on?
She told her mom.
What'd she tell her mom?
And she told DCFS, whatever, and the counselors she was seeing at Southwest, and they didn't turn him in.
So he was touching her sexually?
Mm-hmm.
That pissed you off?
It pissed anybody off.
You have kids?
Yeah, I got 2 kids. I got 2 grandkids. If anybody ever touched that, I handle it. I seen that little girl crying out, man. That tore me up, man. And it still tears me up. Same scenario with anybody else. You know, who would not?
We're on day 8. It's average temperature of about 115, and there's no water. Do the math, my friend. All right, Frank, if you don't have anything else, we'll get someone over here to get you back to yourself.
Investigators drove the route that Frank stated, which correlated with the GPS pings. On the roadside was a lone tree, which, according to Frank, was where David was last seen alive. Detectives searched the area and could not locate David or any signs of where he might have gone. They recovered a pair of glasses and a blood-soaked pillowcase. To get the true story of the night of David's kidnapping, detectives had the Utah Tech Forensic Lab conduct a chip-off extraction on Kelly's phone. This method of data extraction involves desoldering the memory chip from the board and extracting the data directly. The risky procedure was successful, and detectives could view the messages along with Kelly's search history. She had searched child custody in the event the sole custodian goes missing. Kelly was an avid texter. While in the same house, she would text Tammy Freeman and Frank McCard. In the hours leading up to David's kidnapping, Kelly, Frank, and Tammy were messaging each other, discussing what the plan was. What they conspired to do in the texts lined up with their latest statements to investigators. Detective Studley believes Kelly wanted Tammy and Frank to sympathize with her to get her daughter back by any means necessary. Investigators obtained surveillance video from the casinos the trio visited. Frank and Kelly enter the casino. 10 minutes later, Frank McCard leaves the casino with a shaved head. On August 18, 2016, roughly 3 weeks after David's kidnapping,
every time I find a feather, I think of it as feedback from my dad. We collect the feathers as, my dad, sending, feathers from heaven.
Remember to check out Surfshark VPN with the link in the description. For more videos of cases never before seen on YouTube, click one of the videos on screen now or the links in the pinned comment. Goodbye for now.